this weekend podcast that we're not doing this week.
Jesus doesn't think you're a freak, or if he does, he thinks you're a freak in a good way.
Trust me, you two, I know what normal talk is.
Well, it's a new year, and that means the entertainment industrial complex is gearing up to hurl a vast cornucopia of content our way. Yes, I said cornucopia. We thought it might be both fun and helpful to let you know what's coming, what you can expect in the realm of movies, TV, music, books, and games. So joining us for our second segment today are Paul Acey, along with Kennedy Unthank and Bob Hoos. Greetings, gentlemen.
Hello.
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 Paul, back to old man voice. That's awesome.
I feel
do
like
you
I've
secretly want to be older?
I do.
Well, just wait.
I do.
It's coming.
I'm only 27 years
It
old.
shall be.
Paul, we're going to start out with the big rock because, movies. Let's just talk movies.
Let's talk movies.
If I were big movies in the queue to land in 2023, what would I be?
Oh my goodness, there are so many
It's a
big
huge
movies.
All right, well,
it really
load
is.
this
Well,
year.
pick a few, I guess.
Well, yeah. So first, I gotta lay out kind of what we're looking at in 2023.
Okay.
It feels like we are getting back to pre-COVID days,
Normalcy.
where there's a period of time in the summer where every single weekend has a big movie out. Now, it's going to be pretty much what we've come to expect. There's a lot of superhero movies out. There's a lot of
Yay.
sequels out. We're seeing another Transformer movie.
Are you kidding me?
Kid you not. We're seeing 4 DC superhero movies. We're
Holy
seeing
It's like they've had these films all in the can.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they've been saying, okay, this is the year. Let's get them out there.
do it.
And one of the weirder entrants is going to be a new Indiana Jones movie called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I think it's called Indiana Jones and the Dial of CGI.
Yeah, because they're going to.
They're going to youngerify him.
They're going
right?
to youngerify him. They're actually going to go to the reverse of what I do with my hellos. They're going
Right.
to make him younger.
So this is the Benjamin Button of all of the
That's
Indiana
exactly
Jones
right.
movies.
And from what I've heard, it looks pretty good.
It does.
Now, in terms of what we want to talk about here, I'm not sure. Those are kind of expected quantities, right? We know what to expect from superhero movies. We
Yep.
know what to expect from a lot of these sequels that are coming on board. But I did want to mention a few movies that I think families especially
Yeah.
might be interested in. March 3rd, we see Creed 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be an interesting movie. I know that we've heard.
And this
a
is
little
kind of
bit
an
about it.
ongoing extension of the Rocky franchise.
right.
Exactly.
right?
It's an extension of the Rocky franchise. And interestingly enough, Michael B. Jordan is actually directing this. He's going sort of that Sylvester Stallone route because he started
Why do
directing
you think
that.
it's family focused, though?
Well, I think that it always has had sort of a family element to it, quasi-family
I mean, what's
element
more
to it.
family than men beating each other to a pulp in the ring? Right?
There's
That's what I
always sort
thought,
of this
too.
inspirational quality. And I think that because of some of the buzz that we've heard, we really don't know what's going to be in this movie, but just from some of the behind-the-scenes conversations we've had with people, there are some people who are very excited about sort of that family quotient. So we will be interested to see whether it comes to fruition or not. I think that another interesting movie down on the horizon is going to be Elemental, which is a Pixar movie. It actually takes us into this realm, a little bit like Inside Out, a little bit like Soul, where you have these elements that sort of hang out with one another. And it features an element of fire and an element of water who fall in love.
That
Now,
feels problematic.
we shall see. I was not a big fan of Turning Red, which was Pixar's latest big movie. I would like to see whether Pixar goes in a better direction. I'll be interested.
Sounds a little steamy to me.
I was going to make that joke. I didn't know if that was going to be allowed or not.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, oh man.
All right.
Then later on in the year, we have Disney is
Well, we got the bad dad jokes in there.
that was nice.
You win.
November 22nd, Disney is coming out with a movie called Wish, which sounds like it's going to be an origin story for the wishing star. So
Oh man, so meta stacked upon meta for Disney.
we shall see. One of the things that I think we have often been critical of Disney for is sort of this idea that if you wish upon a star, something will come true, right? That's something we've always pushed back on. So I'm going to be interested to see what this particular property looks like.
All right. Well, plenty to consider at the box office this year.
there's-
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. This is one that I'm actually
Paul's nonverbals
super
told me he wasn't
excited
done yet.
about. I thought I was done, but I'm not. December 15th, we have an origin story. Speaking of origin stories, for Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
It's called Wonka. And the thing that makes me kind of excited about this is it's by the director of the Paddington movies, which
Oh,
have
and
been
those are like-
delightful.
Oh, they're so good.
So I'm going to be really interested to see whether that sort of carries through that family-friendly atmosphere in Wonka.
And speaking of origin stories, I heard there's going to be an origin story like Hunger Games movie coming out too.
Yes, you
Which
are
I don't know if that
certainly
one will be
correct.
as family friendly, but
Probably not.
Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, that'll be coming out November 3rd, so that'll be an interesting one as well.
All right. Well, Bob,
yeah,
video games.
yeah.
What's on the docket if you have a gamer in your family? And my guess is there's probably a mix of stuff that's like, we'd love to have that game. And then there'll be everybody's playing that one, but it's got big problems list.
Yeah, well, I sort of made a list of different games, and most of the big problem ones I thought we don't even have to mention them because they already know what they are. But there are a ton of new games coming out that are going to be fun. One of which I think a lot of people are looking forward to is another Harry Potter game.
Okay.
It's called Hogwarts Legacy, and it's all about, it's an action RPG that lets gamers actually go to Hogwarts as well as explore all these different areas that we all know so well from the books. So I think that's this one. It's going to come out early this year. It's in February.
Okay.
So I think kids will be definitely looking forward to that one. One that I'm looking forward to is a pirate game called Skull and Bones. Oh, it's not only does it
very
deal
piratey.
not only does it deal with pirates, but it's naval warfare too. So
Okay.
sounds like a
strategy game.
yeah. Well, it sounds like a game you can get dressed up for and bring the friends over and argue.
And
your way
hopefully
through.
everybody else dresses up too, and you're not you're not the only one in the pirate outfit.
Me
right?
pig leg. Okay, and there's also another one that's fairly early on in the year, a new Star Wars movie. Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is, of course, about a Jedi who saves the world once more,
That's up to you.
from bad and evil. So those three were right there at the top of my list. But there's a new Legend of Zelda game coming out pretty soon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That
Huge franchise.
That one's a little like halfway through the year, right about May, June, something like that. Yeah.
One of the things that we're seeing more and more, I think, is that crossover between movies and television and
Yeah.
games. And there's a lot of games that are coming both to movies and TV.
That's right.
There's going to be a Gran Turismo movie, believe it or not.
Which I don't know.
Yeah.
do that?
They
Just
already
drive
did 8
cars,
of them. It's
you know?
like Fast and the Furious, or 9 or 10
Which
actually.
another sequel coming
I
up.
forget where we're at with
Fast
and-
X.
Fast X. Okay, so we're on 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Super Mario's Brothers.
They're so
movie coming
fast
out.
I can't even
Yeah.
keep up with them.
Yeah. And there's a new Street Fighter 6 that's coming out this year, and that's I think it'll be June when that one comes out. There are a lot of people that really get into those fighting games, and Street Fighter was one of those. It was right there at the top of the heap. It never got really too nasty.
Right, it wasn't in Mortal Kombat territory.
Right. But it definitely had lots that you could get into and enjoy. Just beating up your sister without actually beating up your sister.
Right.
Sort of thing.
File that under.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing I'll make mention of. There is a brand new VR2 system coming out, which is PlayStation, attached to the PlayStation 5. But the first VR system was one of these deals where like there were 1,000 wires and it was very difficult to move around, and that was the limitation of the system. But this new one is supposed to be much more lightweight, much more streamlined, much more just slap on your headset and go, you know. And there are a lot of people that are excited about that too.
Okay. Kennedy, what's happening in the realm of TV that people might want to be aware of in 2023?
Yes, so it's actually a great segue from video games because something recently came out on January 15th called The Last of Us, which, if you're a
It's
gamer...
not This Is Us, the
No,
sequel, right?
no. This is more fungal apocalypse.
Fungal apocalypse. There you go.
So The Last
I'm
of Us...
trying to come up with something witty, but I'm not. It's just not coming.
I finally beaten him. The Last of Us, though, it is the story of Joel and Ellie, a duo who essentially become like father and daughter as they cross this post-apocalyptic America that has been infected by this fungal disease that turns everybody into zombies.
As it does.
You knew there was going to be zombies in there somewhere,
zombies.
right?
Right.
Got to be.
End of the world, zombies. Okay.
Exactly.
You had me at fungal.
I don't know how to respond to that. Anyways, so instead of responding, I'll just continue.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Another huge one that's going to be coming out, Star Wars Ahsoka.
Okay.
A new series scheduled to be released under the vague title of 2023.
Okay. TBA, as they say.
It's about, obviously, the legendary Ahsoka Tano, the Padawan who studied under Anakin Skywalker before becoming a formidable Jedi herself.
Okay.
And it makes you wonder how many of these, sideline stories are they going to create out of that central Star Wars?
More.
They've got they literally have a whole universe to explore.
Yeah.
And I think that some of those sideline stories are way more compelling than just revisiting the old characters time and time again. So
No, Mandalorian was pretty.
Well, and Andor was
we
pretty,
could
pretty engaging
fanboy
too.
on Andor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although there are some problems too. Now back to Kennedy. And what else is coming in 2023?
Ever since Phase 4, we can't talk about new TV series without mentioning any new Marvel series that will be coming out. Peak of those is likely going to be Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which will probably be the most controversial of the new 3 that are coming out. We saw Agatha debut in WandaVision, and it seems she's going to be getting her own little spin-off of that spin-off. We also have Ironheart, which, if you saw the new Black Panther movie, you got a glimpse of what that will look like.
Riri Williams.
And finally, Marvel's Secret Wars. This is a story about the shape-shifting Skrull, the aliens who we saw in Captain Marvel, who have the ability to take on the face of anybody they want, and they have invaded our society without our knowledge. And finally, just to mention shows that are coming back for season 2s, 3s, 4s, we've got prominent shows like The Mandalorian, Loki, we have Succession, and we have Severance, all of these big shows that are going to be coming back in 2023 as well.
All right. Thanks, Kennedy. Bob,
Wow.
I know it's hard to believe, but people still read books sometimes.
Yeah,
and
believe
they
it
often
or-
become movies and video games and
That's
TV
right.
shows.
And believe it or not, we review them.
And we also review them.
Some people don't know that Plugged In doesn't just do TV and movies and games, but books too.
We also do things that don't rot your brain.
That's right.
Right?
And and we've had some really good ones too. And by the way, what we review it ranges from like kid books up to young readers to teens and young adults. So that's sort of the scope of what we aim for.
Yep.
And there are a number of good books that I've seen that are coming out soon. Let me tell you about some of them.
That's on his reading
Bob,
glasses.
what do we got
That's
coming?
right. One that really appealed to me. There's one called Enter the Body. Now this one sounds what? Well,
It sounds a little odd.
But listen to this. It's Shakespeare's dead heroines all get together in a room beneath the stage and talk about their experiences and then tell you what really happened.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a movie
Oh, so
waiting
it's like
to happen.
Wicked.
It
kinda.
well, it sounds like a very interesting idea.
Wow.
There's also a new, a lush retelling of the Snow White story called Snow and Poison. That one's coming out in April.
Sounds dangerous.
That's right. One that's aimed more at the younger group is a book called The Town with No Mirrors.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah, and it's a story about this
I like the idea
young
of
girl
that.
who she lives in this place where you can't look at your face. You're not supposed to look at your face, or you're not supposed to consider what other people look like. But she...
So they don't have Instagram either, apparently.
No, that's a big thing. But she has a secret sketchbook where she keeps drawings of people's faces, and she's trying to figure out the mystery of this town.
Oh, that's interesting.
Doesn't it sound like a fun little story?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, another one, The Island. Now, this one's more young adult focused, coming out in February. It's a group of internet influencers. They're invited to preview and post about this incredible new amusement park. Okay?
Are they dinosaurs?
Well, you would think. I mean, it sort of does sound like a Jurassic Park thing. But the problem is that going home isn't necessarily on their agenda.
Oh. Okay.
So little things like that are
So
fun. Let's see.
thrillerish.
Yeah. Oh, and one other that I'll mention here. There's one called Star Splitter. And this is a story of a young girl who is in a crash landing on this desolate planet, okay? But when she gets there, she has to unravel the mystery of the destruction all around her. So,
Interesting.
again,
I feel like that every day when I come to work. I
Yeah.
just feel like I need
again,
to
I
say
just
that.
I just think there's a lot of the wonderful thing about stories written for younger kids and for young adults is that they can go places that your average adult novel just doesn't go.
Yeah.
They can have everything from fantasy to these very imaginative and broad ideas, and we try and find those and review them for Plugged In, and there are a lot of fun ones that we do. through
Yeah,
the year.
it's always interesting when we're talking about sort of what is coming up in 2023. A lot of it sounds very, very interesting, but one of the reasons that we do what we do is because some of those really interesting properties have problems.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's
and-
the unfortunate thing. You can read the log line and suddenly go, "This is cool," but then when you read it, oh, there's things in there that
Right.
you didn't expect.
Exactly.
That's
So we'll be
exactly
covering all this sort of stuff to let you know whether there's problems or not.
We will. And finally, we actually have music coming out. I know it's hard to
Music?
believe that music still exists, but it does.
Not on CD though.
Well, if you're of a certain, cohort, we'll put it that way. Maybe you're still buying CDs. I still buy CDs.
It'll definitely be on vinyl.
So we
though.
have, I'm just
Definitely
going
on
to do
vinyl.
sort of a speed round list of the artists who are releasing new things this year, and we'll be covering them. Sam Smith, who has become a really important British singer, has a new album coming out January 27th, just in about a week or so. We've got the first new album from Paramore in a long time. And if you've been laying awake at night wondering, when is that sort of pseudo-fictional band Gorillaz going to release something else? They have a new album coming out called Cracker Island, which makes me hungry just thinking about it. Lana Del Rey has an album coming out in March called Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? So she sort of got this sort of paranoid shtick going on, and that title seems to play to that. And then we'll have new stuff from Miley Cyrus, Metallica, Pharrell Williams, Rihanna, Cardi B, and Jennifer Lopez. So each week at Plugged In, along with all of our other coverage, we look for music that we think you're going to want to know about because your teens might be listening to it. So those are just a few of the artists to keep an eye out for as we move into the year. And we'll be covering likely all of the things that we've talked about today as they come out, keeping you in the loop on what's going on in the realm of pop culture across all of these different genres. So thanks, gentlemen.
You bet.